We're always watching the weather. We started talking about Debbie probably more than a week ago, and talked to key department heads, primarily Chief Coleman, our fire chief and emergency management director, but also Mark Hollowell. We started tracking the storm, and once we got an indication that it might be heading our way, when the possible paths would include our area, we began to move into action and looking at what the potential threats, what type of hurricanes. No hurricanes, normally when they get here, if they've generated, far in the Caribbean, are probably tropical storms. Sometimes they're hurricanes. But when they get here, we look at what type they are. Is it a wind event? Is it a rain event? Debbie looks like it's going to be a slow-moving rain event, which is not good because it's going to produce a lot of rainfall when it does arrive, probably more than the average storm. And we're a little sensitive to rainfall right now after all the past flooding in the September 11th rain from last year and the January and February rains that caused some flooding in and around town. So we started looking at that. What do we need to do? We're monitoring the 10 Mile River. And we're also now coordinating and collaborating with Attleboro on how we open and close the dams to create freeboard and create the space to be able to capture as much rainfall without flooding either town. It's something that we aspire to do. But then, at the end of it, Mother Nature gets a vote in how much rainfall we get and how much capacity it has. We'll probably be issuing a notification to our residents to start preparing now, get ready. We've started that messaging already. I think Mark Hollowell and Public Works are going to open up sandbags and make those available to our residents here very soon. And then we've also stood up and gotten ready to man our emergency operations center if that's needed. And that will become, if the situation becomes so necessary to be able to have command and control and situational awareness full-time, we will man the EOC and begin coordinating all of our response efforts here in town. We're watching this right now. It looks like a 3 to 5 inch rainfall event potentially, right? And there's still a lot of amount of rain. If the system stalls out over us, I don't think it will, but if it does, it could be increased more. And it depends on the track of the storm. If it goes right or left, it changes the amount of rainfall, it changes the winds and all of that. So we're monitoring, we're watching, we're coordinating with our emergency response services here in town, with our regional partners, with the town of Attleboro, the city of Attleboro, excuse me, and making sure that we're all working together to be able to effectively respond and protect the communities.
I'm not a meteorologist, but as they say, I did stay at Holiday Inn Express last night.
Yeah, you're doing pretty good.
Eye of the storm, to the west of it is the heavy rain, to the east of it is the heavy wind. Which is worse? If you live along the banks of the 10 Mile River, the rain is worse.
They're both equally worse.
Okay.
Right. So especially if you're North Attleboro, if you're getting a lot of the rainfall, right, then you're going to potentially have some flooding, and we're interested in how do we prevent that and working hard to do that. If, like today, we've had rain and it's in the forecast leading all the way up to this weekend, right? The ground's going to be saturated and you get a wind event following that. With the trees, and they have all their leaves on right now, that's just going to be, like a sponge and grab the wind and potentially cause a lot of tree fall damage that we could see, and that impacts power lines a lot of times. So there's never a good situation. Wind side or rain side, they all have their challenges, but the town is in a very good position, and we've been organized. We've talked about this. These are things that we rehearse on a basis. We have exercises. We do a preparedness exercise for winter all the time, and these are things that help us organize and get ready to respond.